Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Bryant with SFOT Source, your premier unofficial guide to Six Flags over Texas. If you watched our last Holiday in the Park video, you would have seen that the brand new Texas Giant Nanocoaster is now available. You can pick this up at the Texas Giant gift shop and at Looney Tunes Mall. We did make a video not too long ago putting together the Titan roller coaster model, and this should be substantially easier. I am going to kind of talk y'all through it. You can just kind of see some of the facts here on the back, and pretty simple and straightforward, just telling you things. You can see that the price of these is $34.99. Of course, if you have a membership, your membership discount is valid on this, and then you can actually see what this turns into. So if you're on the fence about buying it, you can see that there on the box when you're at the park. So we will go ahead and open. And well, I thought it was going to be easier, but this also has the little deals that you have to actually cut out. So that's going to be fun. Here's the base. And we have our instructions in here as well. You can see they're not particularly descriptive. It's kind of like putting together IKEA furniture. So the best way to actually get these out of these steel sheets is to cut the little sections with nail clippers. So I'm going to go grab nail clippers and we will get started. I do like to actually take all of these out completely and then go ahead with putting this together. It just makes more sense to me. Best thing to do is to kind of, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this, but there's these little tiny pins holding this in, little tiny metal points. It's good to just clip these with the edge of the clippers and get everything out. And there's piece number one. Right there. One thing that I do recommend is sometimes you'll have little, gosh, this is gonna be hard to see, little kind of metal pokey things coming out once you cut these out of the metal sheet here. I like to just kind of go snip those off with some nail clippers. the piece that will actually end up being the station eventually. We have one more piece to cut out of here. That is the logo for the roller coaster. The next thing we have to do is actually peel these pieces off of here, these little sticker pieces. You definitely don't want to leave these on, or your nano coaster model's not going to look super awesome. This can be a little bit tedious, especially if you don't have nails. Next thing I'm gonna do is make sure this is lined up the way that they have it on the drawing. So keep in mind there are outlines on this piece, the track outlines, but on the drawing this is honestly kind of one of the most nondescript drawing instruction manuals that I've gotten for one of these. So this could be interesting. So we have this laid out how it is here, and you can see the first main piece is going to be kind of this turn back here. So we will find that piece. Let's go ahead and lay these out. I did clean off the table after we got rid of the metal shards. Here's the piece. I'm gonna lay this right here. And let's get these laid back out. So there is two tracks here. This is definitely on the inside track. So this goes here. You just gotta kind of force it to shape the way you want it to. Just be careful. Across. As you can see, we've got that thing in there, nice and flush. And one thing that will happen sometimes is you'll get little black shards coming out of these. That's been normal for me. I am gonna try to seat this down a little bit more. This one popped out. Come on, there we go. You'll see on the bottom there's these little tabs here, and we got a little more black stuff coming out. And there's these little tabs. You just push these tabs and that holds it in. Keep in mind if you have other slots, then you don't want to block those when you close the tabs. So we're going to be mindful of that. And I'm just going to double check that everything is lined up as we go. And we have piece number one successfully in. Number two is going to, this is interesting how they're jumping back and forth. Number two is just going to be the continuation of this, which should be this piece. Let's just double check it here. So that goes in there. We have this. Boom, boom, boom. Yep, that all matches up. The hill matches up. And we got that second piece in there, all nice and fun like there. It's always good to keep this oriented with the drawing once you're done. I do like to push on this every now and then to get those tabs kind of compressed as much as possible. And now we're gonna move on to step 4, and we are actually reading this backwards, which is quite interesting. So in step 4, what they're building is the turnaround right here, which is going to be, should be this piece right here. So these will go in here, this will split the track, and then this just barely cuts over. We have that piece done. That really did not want to go in there. This curve is a kind of a pain in the butt, so keep that in mind if you haven't put this together yet. And just double check, yeah, everything's looking good. So we'll move on to the next, step 5. So step 5 is going to be this outer curve, which will be this piece right here. So let's go ahead and put this in. Now we have that outer curve installed there. That was another pretty fun piece. Fix some of the aesthetics here. Just curve this out a little bit. Our next step is going to be first drop. So we'll go ahead and get this installed. And there's the first drop. That was fairly easy. Just make sure that looks alright. And then we have our final piece, which is that final run out back to the station. Next up, we're going to install the station. You have to kind of bend that. You're not going to see this at all. You do have to bend that into shape. And we'll just drop that in. And the final piece we have is the logo that I showed y'all earlier. And that's just going to pop right in here. And there's our final product. I will kind of get closer in. Of course, if any of y'all have any questions about this, then please ask in the comments below. I'd also love to hear what nano coaster models you have in the comments below. We actually have one more to put together, which is Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster from Fiesta, Texas. I've already put together Iron Rattler last year, so I can't make a video of that for you. But there are parks around the country that do sell these. I'd love to know which ones you have. Here is a more in-depth look at the new Texas Giant Nano coaster from Coasterdynamix.